and a moment of silence. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Speaker's not working, are we, can they still hear us
I don't know.
on the live thing?
Can they hear us on live? These aren't working.
None of them working. Yeah, so.
We're good? Okay. There's a microphone.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, so Mr. Hobart, are there any additions or changes to the agenda items?
No, there are not.
Okay, so first on the agenda is public comment. Do we have anybody sign in the back for public comment?
Nope, it's empty.
And next up is the superintendent report.
So tonight, Tri-West High School will be presenting, and I have Mr. Tricker, and we see lots of amazing folks here. And I will turn on Mr. Tricker for a presentation.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started with our FFA group, and then I'll talk about some of the high school diploma requirements and graduation.
Is it okay if we stand up? Can everybody see us? Just stand here?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So I am Callie Grinstead, the high school FFA advisor and ag teacher, and I have with me, we're getting in the right order, 4 current officers, there we go, 4 current officers as well as an alumni member, and Miss O'Neill, who is our newest middle school and high school teacher and FFA advisor. Away.
Hello, my name is Connor Smith. I am a sophomore, and on October 4th this year, we decided to host our annual swine show called the Yield Break, and it was a lot of planning going into it. At the beginning of the school year, right when school started, we started calling as much people as we knew, trying to get donations for the pig show to make sure we have enough money to sponsor it and to make sure it wouldn't fail whenever we did it. And then we had to go online, start advertising it on our Facebook and Instagram, and then we went into the app called Showman, so where people can find the pig shows and other shows, and we posted it on there to get a numbers look on who will all be there and how much space we needed. So then, a couple weeks leading up to the fair, to the pig show, we had to start laminating items for the gates on the pens, and then make sure we knew who's all coming so we can pick out the pens on where everybody will go to make sure that it will run smoothly and safely. And then we had to look at the registration to see who's all coming. And then our FFA officers and students did work the show rings, the concessions, announce and hand out awards to the top 5 guilds, and the top 5 barrows, and the senior showman, intermediate showman, and junior showman. And then after they all left, we stayed back and started cleaning up. That was basically getting rid of any little trash that is around the barn to make sure it was cleaner than we found it. And then it was a good fundraiser because we made a lot of money that did impact our chapter for fundraising for items that we need now and for the future that we still have left over. So whenever we do need it, we can use it then. And our students, and as an officer team, we learned that basically what we need to do better, because it was our first big event that we did as an officer team together. So we got to look back onto it and see what we did good, see what we did bad to make improvements for next time. So now Olivia will talk about the community dinner.
I'm Olivia Love, and I'm a senior. The community dinner is our annual dinner hosted by the Tri-West FFA members, and this year it will be in February of 2026. And typically we provide a taco bar with desserts, and we all split up, and some of us takes the front doors and show people where the cafeteria is and all we have set out. while others are serving the Taco Bell to everybody that wants to partake in it. We have our leadership demos that we do at leadership, and just so everybody can see it and see what it looks like behind the scenes of leadership. And around when everybody's there, we just communicate with all the members of the family and the community, so the community can get a good grasp of what we do there and how we do it, how we're organized. And at the dinner, we accept donations so that we know that the community wants to help us provide for the future and the future activities that we do. And yeah, all the donations go to the future activities like the state convention and national convention, which Aubrey will talk to you about right now.
Hi, my name is Aubrey Kissling. I'm a senior here, and I'm going to talk to you about state convention. It's one of my favorite activities personally, and I feel like it's the most impactful for our chapter personally. And we take around like 10 people have the opportunity to go. And we take the new officer team members, we take people who are receiving awards, and we take people who are qualifying to compete at state convention, which is really fun. While we're there, it's typically held in like late June, and in past years it's been held at Purdue University. And we normally go to workshops, which are led by state officers and industry professionals. And also while we're there, we go to general sessions where we hear retiring addresses from state officers and keynote speakers, which is really cool. The main thing that we do at state convention though is we participate in the leadership competitions there. So we normally do presentations, demonstrations, speeches, and essays. And Jane qualified at state and therefore had the opportunity to move on to the national level. And before she talks about that, I'm going to have Kennedy talk about the national convention.
Hi, I'm Kennedy Poland, and I will be talking about National Convention. I really love National Convention because it gets us in a new experience that we've never been in before. We get to meet people from around the United States, which is really cool, especially getting to experience all the different things that we do differently and they do differently even in their FFA chapter. We also get to walk around and just talk with our friends for a while and experience the expo hall, which has a lot of different businesses that you can talk to and colleges. That is really helpful for people who are looking for a college or need help in that aspect. They also have a gift shop or an expo hall where they sell a lot of merchandise for FFA members, so we get new clothing or whatever we need with that. We also do Courtesy Corps, which is where we help people that are doing contests either tear down or set up a competition for them to redo it. That way we're helping them. We also compete in CDEs, which is what Janelyn will now talk to you about.
Hi guys, my name is Janelyn Fisher. I'm a freshman at Purdue University majoring in animal science and a 2025 Tri-West graduate. So I had the opportunity to compete in the first ever agricultural education CDE at National Convention. And it was such a great opportunity. I competed at state and qualified to go on and move to National Convention. So within this contest, it's actually probably one of my new favorite contests because, I mean, the first time anybody's done it, and it was honestly just such a great experience. So what we had to do is all of the states in the United States got a chance to submit a lesson plan. And then the top 12 lesson plans were picked to compete at the National Convention. And so what you had to do in your lesson plan is you had to make a 50-minute lesson and then pick your favorite 15. So in this lesson plan, you had to be super detail oriented and literally write out every single step so that they would know this is what you're going to say then and this is what you're going to say next. And then you had to put in hypotheticals. If the student gave you an incorrect answer, you had to put exactly how you were going to respond to it. So it was just super repetitive, but it was mine ended up being 9 pages long to submit to these people. I'm sorry, you're going to have to read that. But my lesson that I presented was over the 6 essential nutrients with the focus on water and the effect that it has on the animal's body. So when I went into the contest room, I had 8 mock students, and I was competing against the 11 other states, so like Louisiana. And so they had students from like our school came in after I competed. So like the states that were competing like gave their students to like act as the students there. But so when I went in there, I had the 8 kids, and we started, I only had 15 minutes. And so we did a bell ringer. They had a student worksheet that they filled out as we went on. And then I picked one of my 4 stations to do. So it was like the 5 functions of water in the body, and then they had to match the scenarios with that. And then we did a check for understanding just to make sure they understood what the functions were, and then a exit ticket. And so then after I like finished my 15 minutes of like competing, the judges asked me about 5 questions. And then after that, I cleaned up the room and headed upstairs to take a 50 multiple choice question test over teaching and education. And as an animal science major, that was a lot to learn, but it was fun. It was a great experience. And then, so after that test was over, I was able to like explore the convention hall and just have fun with like my friends. And then the next day I came back and for awards, and I was talking to Miss Grinstead before. I was like, I'm not gonna go up there just to like not do very well. Like there's not very many of us. Like that's gonna be awkward. But I went up there and they were calling everybody's name, and like everybody would step forward as they like got their names called. And then it came down the last 2, and I was standing there. I was like, that girl looks like she did really good. Like I don't know about this. And so then they were like, try West, and I was like on stage, and I was like, oh my gosh, pull it together. But it was such an amazing experience. Like it was great, and I learned so much from that. And then everybody kept asking me, they were like, are you gonna switch to ag education? And I was like, maybe I should. I mean, it was great. So yeah, that's just a little insight on my experience competing in the first national convention contest for ag education.
Awesome.
And being the first winner.
And being the first winner. Yes,
Yeah.
I did win. That was the good start. Yes.
We'll rate you highly effective, how's that?
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you, guys.
letting us speak.
Where was the pig show? Was that the Hendricks house?
Tipton.
Tipton?
That's
It's in
okay.
Tipton, Indiana,
Tipton, okay.
in the fairgrounds.
You forgot to tell us what time you have to be up there.
I actually got there late.
I can't imagine, Connor.
Oh, yeah.
What were you doing to them, JD?
I know a few of them.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Excellent
you.
job.
Thank you.
Good job.
There you go.
For the second piece of the superintendent report, it's something we haven't done. I just want to make sure you are all aware. State change graduation requirements. And so I thought it'd be really good. Community and the board to go over those. It's just a lot of people. Be very to know that like it applies to the freshmen this year. Sophomore son, but yeah, junior high kids. A totally different experience. So I think it's important to kind of go over those things. Mr. Tricker's going to take us through.
Yeah, that one slide from.
I'll get there.
That's tough following our FFA kids. I mean, it's amazing. When you have state winners, and you have nationals, it's incredible. I was blessed. All 3 of my daughters, they all through degrees. So, and as you saw, our young people represent themselves so well. I mean, it makes me feel proud to be their principal and excited about what these ladies are doing at Tri-West. As Mr. Hoball mentioned, the state of Indiana, we're in that transition now for the incoming freshmen. Their diploma requirements are different than the 3 classes that we currently have. And so we started working on that last year, getting prepared for this freshman group. Part of this freshman group is that we want to make sure that they got started in a CTE pathway. It doesn't mean that that's what they got to do for the rest of their lives, but they need to start focusing on what they want to do when they are graduated from Tri-West High School. Within there's some elements that were in addition and some away. One of them is one of the PE credits now is no longer required, and they're also taking econ out. But they added a little bit more flexibility is what they will try to sell to you as. So if you want to go to the next slide. So here's the new baseline diploma. And as I mentioned earlier, English stayed the same. Math went down a credit, went from 8 to 7. Science went from 6 to 7 in addition to that. Social studies went down from 6 to 5. PE and health went down from 3 to 2. And now we used to have what we tell the kids what they should take as their electives. Now, depending on what they foresee their future to be, they have 3 different pathways. And with those pathways will be their choices of course from this point on. So the way we roll it, if you want to go to the next one, talks about the pluses on that, and we'll go to the next one and I'll get into the things. So with these new honor seals that they have, enrollment, those are for our college-based kids. So when I was looking at last year's graduation group, we had about a little over 100 kids that went on to Ivy Tech or a college. We had 15 of them went to a trade school, and that left us about 33 kids that went right to the workforce. So when I was looking at, okay, how are we going to focus on where we need to have kids? And that's where it's going to be more and more conversations with the middle school. Talked to Mr. Nikolai a couple different times. Mr. Hovall was part of those conversations as well. We do career interest inventory for our middle school kids. With the hope is that we'll have some of that data and then we'll start putting them into a foundations course based on their interest. We cannot, of course, have everything at a score our size, but at least we can have a level of interest and get those kids going in the direction they want. Those that are going on to the collegiate level, they're going to be our high flyers, or what we would call going into enrollment. Enrollment is going into college or post-secondary education after Tri-West High School. They're going to basically be the same path that we have our honors kids now that we'll be taking. So that portion of it's important for them to be prepared for college. The plus still though on that's where we're going to look at our ICC. That's our Indiana College Core. We were with IU. There was no way to ever get to 30 credit hours with the IU plan. We had conversations throughout the summer. Ms. Pemberton and I did with IU, spoke with Ivy Tech, and it even got to the point that IU said, yeah, with your staff, there's no way, because you have to get 15 credit hours from that university and another 15. So talked to Ivy Tech. Ivy Tech, we've already had some adjunct, if you want to call that, professors with them. There's a possibility to get there. So 15 of them have to be through Ivy Tech. The other 15 can be through IU dual credit that we will have and keep in our AP. So the nice thing about getting to the 30 is that 30 is a bundle now. So if the kids get all those 30s, all state institutions have to accept that. Right now, when we don't get to 30, it's their choice on the AP. If they want to take an AP as a 3 or 4 or 5 within there. So that will help us out. There's also a little bit of additional revenue that we'll get to the school for providing these educational opportunities for our kids. So I talked to the staff before, there's ways to look to get funding to improve what we're offering at our schools. More kids is good, but there's also ways to get there without that. That will give them their plus. If we can get them to that enrollment plus, if you read it the way they sold it to us, if I want to say it that way, that the kids will be admitted to any state, basically, university, if they have that. So there's another plus for that part for our kids to know. The other part is, and we've been working really hard with our offerings, and some of that we presented last year, we're presenting those to you this evening to add some of that, is to fulfill those requirements within that scope and sequence of the courses that we offer. Employment. So employment's the other avenue that we'd be going to. That's an honor seal. There we go. Employment. So a big portion of this are certain kids that are ready to get an education, a solid education, but then they're ready to go to the workforce. And the idea behind that is that we will give them a solid education, but then part of that education, and we're working, all the schools in Hendricks County are working, we're going tomorrow, but we're trying to provide opportunities to match kids up with employers. So that way they're ready to go into a field that they want to make a living and make a good living along with that. So we're trying to have basically uniformed across the board, where when we're working with employers, they know what the expectations are for each of the kids know what the school. So with these groups, we have employers there, we have school part of it, as we're getting together and match some of this stuff up. The hard part is, and that's where I kind of lean with the FFA because of summer ag experience, we have those 90 hours. That's kind of the template to use, I think, that what will help us. For the employment, we got to get up to 150 hours. And really, one of the things, if a kid has a job, it can count towards that. Now, that may not be a career field that they're going into, but those are some of the, I guess we're still kind of making the sausage as we're trying to make this thing look the way it needs to look. But we're gradually going to get there because they'll becoming sophomores. Classes are still relatively the same that they were with our old diploma, but their juniors and senior years look dramatically different because now we're trying to get those experiences for those kids to be beneficial to get to that point. There's also the certifications in there, so depending on what their study is, I know one of the workshops that we went to, they had Indiana pork there, trying to give some of those pork checkoffs, could be some of it food safe with food service. So there's certain things that we have available to us, but we're just trying to make sure that we have a way to document that stuff. And we're working with this program, a lot of input so far, but it's supposed to help us to keep track of that stuff as we, Employment 360, as we get ready to roll this out for our kids that will graduate with that new diploma. The final one is the enlistment service. So basically it's college, workforce, or going to the military. And within that, they also have very similar elements to the employment portions of it. Attendance is important, as they have hopefully getting some certifications within there. This is the thing that opens up where athletics could help that, certain leadership skills within that. If you've been involved in your school's extracurricular, those are some of the elements to get that plus seal to get the kids ready to move on and go that direction. Typically, I think we have 2, 3, 4 kids that will go to the military each graduating class. So that's the big elements on that. I don't know what I got. Yeah, then we talk about our course description guides after that.
Do you want the other sheet up there too?
Yeah, let's go.
I gave a copy. The board members all have a copy of this.
Yes. So that's what I was kind of talking about, the little bit of the differences within there. The balance is, and we have freshmen that will be sophomores, so we'll have half of our school next year under the old diploma and the new diploma without adding staff. So that's been a conversation that I've had with the department chairs, departments within the departments, and then the whole staff. Because there's a way to do it. It's just trying to make sure that we have it all mapped out. We have to be really intentional on what courses and the course sequences that we can offer at Tri-West. Because the part that would drive me nuts for the last 15 months is that we never had a road to finish. I mean, nothing against my predecessor, but it just wasn't feasible, and I don't like that. So what we're trying to do is be solid in making sure that we're able to offer the best education possible for our kids as they move forward. So within there's a lot of electives. It's personalization, yes, but we still have the old framework that we have to use. So that's the balance. So we're adding some singletons in there. We're adding some that we might have put the school year and looking for your approval because we're looking down the road. It may not be offered 26, 27, but we may offer it 27, 28. So we're trying to get ahead of it. So when we have the incoming freshman meeting with the parents, we can lay that out. We started that a little bit by having Area 31 come in earlier so the kids know that if that's where they want to go down, they know I better pass English 9 Algebra 1, some of the basics as we go through biology your typical freshman year to get ready then for your sophomore year to go down that pathway. It's important, this we're going to need help with the board and to talk to the parents group. We got to build partnerships within our employers and our communities. The school being one of them. There's certain things, but we have to have that bridge. And we want to make sure that our kids are ready to go out there and represent themselves well. Because what I don't want to do is ever, and we talk about placement, I don't want to place a kid in an area and then he doesn't do a good job, and now that ruined it for the 50 other kids that wanted that opportunity within there. So we're being really selective in that. We're trying to build those skills up, and a big portion of that is making sure that they're here at school. And that attendance is very critical, because this is probably very similar to where we're at. Most employers say, I just need somebody to show up to work and have some common sense, and I'll train them to work. But if they don't show up, then that's where it gets in there. That's where, with the employment in the military, that's where they say, a year with no more than 3 unexcused absences in there. So that's a critical message as we're trying to tell it has happened 1 year, so you hope you can get them by the freshman year that they already check that box off, that they're ready to go. But we will start changing more of our electives as we graduate out, our juniors and seniors, and that will open up the elements, and still trying to make sure that we give our kids a solid foundation within there. The academic wing of it, I think we're pretty good. There's some elements that we can help in there. Again, I want to go reemphasize trying to get to those 30 credit hours within there. That's one big mark on that part, but we do offer some pretty challenging classes for our kids and get a solid education. And hopefully they get to go to the university or college they want to go to. Are we good? Any questions?
I think so.
All right.
Good. Sounds like you're all over it.
We're trying.
I think the biggest thing is honestly, even if you're out talking to parents, it's gonna look different.
Yeah.
And some of the things that, I just view them as the tried and true high school concepts, they're gonna start to go by the wayside. And I know we've fought here for years to keep kids in school and everything else, but we're kind of pushing some of the kids to that work-based piece. And if you have to have that many hours, you may be leaving school early to go to work, and what that looks like. It won't be every kid, but it's gonna look different. The world's changed, and I get it. It makes sense that we're gonna have to adapt.
Yeah, and to that point, that's where it's really important that we get a solid start. Because if we have kids that fail classes, they're pushed behind, and they're out of the loop of where they need to be. And the hope is then that those kids see that, hey, okay, I have to take this class so I can do this. And I think that's what we're trying to put it together for the kids and make it real for them.
And talking to other schools, is everybody about where we are? And moving?
Somewhat. I mean, some of the districts have, CTE coordinators. Probably is helpful. At some point, we'll probably have to get there. How do we do that is we still have time to develop that. And that's where when you look at and that's just honest conversations with staff members, or certain elements that some of the classes aren't necessarily now required. So what does that look like? How do you retool that? And where can you put people to be successful? But I think we'll probably have to have someone in that role right now, because Callie kind of does that with our workforce. How do you balance that? And we've had conversations, not to get too far ahead, but those are some of the things that as that develops, because they'll want one person probably to make that connection between the academic side and then the I'll say the real world, the world of employment. So,
how many businesses are you looking to start with?
How many do we have now in our CTE?
Right now, I have 22 kids in the program. Some of them have their own businesses that they have aligned with, and some I have helped to place into a business. So right now, this semester, there's 22, but, I mean, I would imagine at some point, we're gonna have over 3/4 of the class population that will need to have a placement, so looking for a lot more.
Yeah.
So are, some of those kids at the same business, or are they all at a different business?
I think, I only have 2 kids, one group of 2 that is the same business owners, they're all, so I guess, yeah, I have 1 double, and that's it.
Okay.
And it's not just Hendricks County, Boone County, Hendricks County, I don't think I have any in Montgomery, but yeah, they're kind of,
Yeah.
they're a little spread out, depending on their interest and their path and what they're gonna do.
Can you just give an example of some of the businesses? that
Yeah, so
they're-
my favorite one I just got, this for this semester is the All Angels Vet Clinic in Lebanon.
Yep.
So I have a student placed on a unpaid internship. That's the other part, is trying to figure out when we can get paid versus unpaid, because obviously our kids, she's spending her gas to drive there but not getting paid, but the experience is worth it at this point. So that's my favorite one. She works 3 days a week for 3 hours a day at the vet clinic. So that's kind of a college-bound student that wants to be a vet and trying that field out. And then we have all the way down to, because I have not just ag, I also have business kids in it as well. So I have one group that works, or a student that works at Suntan City in Brownsburg, and she's learning all of the scheduling and maintenance and like the behind the scenes of running Suntan City. So that's kind of maybe the 2 spectrums of it. But we have all the way from working on the farm, we have like one of the Bernhardts works on the farm and does those hours, to businesses, to ag businesses, and literally anything you can imagine, I probably have a kid doing it. So, yeah, power washing to farm work to everything.
So we're in a group with Hendricks County Schools, except Brownsburg, they opted out, but everybody else. And it's run through the CISC is kind of coordinating this. And we're trying to put together a county group as well to bring the ability to bring in businesses from all over the county. We voiced our concerns, the fact that Brownsburg and the town of Brownsburg don't want to play, because I feel like that's a major hit for our student population. So if they're still working with Danville, and I had a meeting with them before Thanksgiving, and I said, hey, if you guys are willing to look to Lebanon, and look further west, we have folks that are willing to drive to those places, and honestly, we don't live that far from them. But to try to continue to build into what that network looks like for our kids.
I'd say like my biggest struggle probably too with placing kids is a lot of businesses say, oh, that sounds wonderful. Like I have an internship set up with the Ladybug Pest Control in Lebanon. I know that sounds a little bit, it's a very good internship, but I couldn't get anybody to do it because it's unpaid. And then last year I had a student at Brownsburg Parks actually that did work, I don't know all those park names very well, but the one like right off Main right there. But he went there every day. But once again, it was an unpaid internship. And we have a lot of kids in the district that if they're gonna spend the time doing it, they need to be paid. They can't afford not to because they're helping with stuff and the gas to do it and everything else. So I would say my #1 struggle is finding the paid opportunities for kids. I can find a lot of businesses that say, yep, that sounds great, send me kids, but they aren't gonna pay them.
So, but they're supposed to be at school, right? So they wouldn't be able to work. and
So
get paid.
it's part of our curriculum. So it's the capstone.
Yeah.
So that they can take it for 1 to 3 credit hours. So those kids that have 2 and 3 credit hours, there's a work-based learning hour component that's required. So they'll leave early and go to work, just like any other work-based learning. But part of their grade is getting the official signatures and turning in their work hours for the number of hours that they picked, anywhere from 1 to 3.
Right, I'm just saying they're at school, like they wouldn't be getting paid normally during those hours. But I understand the gas
Yeah.
portion, like maybe if businesses would be willing to pay their like gas to come to and from.
A lot of the hours, so I don't have the breakdown in front of me either. For 1 credit hour, it's 175, don't hold me to that number, but roughly 175 hours. So most of them are working outside, because they may only leave 45 minutes early from school.
Okay.
So they're still they can put in the time at any time.
Oh, gotcha.
So a lot
Okay.
of them are working nights, weekends, other times. To get the most, it's 380 hours. So
Okay.
they're definitely putting in more time than the school day. Yeah,
Okay.
because they're only leaving 1 or 2 class periods early, and so they're putting in that time, but on some days, but they're also working nights, weekends, other times as well.
Okay.
So yeah, that kind of, it's there's a lot of numbers and figuring out the schedules involved, but yeah,
Okay.
if that kind of helps.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tricker.
Thank you.
Ms. Grinstead, thank
Yeah,
you.
sorry, I kind of
Ms.
butted
O'Neill,
in.
thank
No,
you.
glad you're here, glad you're here.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. So next agenda, consent agenda. We have the minutes. We have the minutes on November 11th. The regular meeting on November 11th as well. Payment of claims. Fund report, appropriations report, revenue report, transfer report, payroll report, personnel report, student transfer requests. Any discussion on the consent agenda items? Okay, let me get a motion. For approval. Okay. First from Emily, second from JD, all those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Motion passes. And then next, we have approval of the course high school course selection.
So every year in December,
high school
comes with courses they'd like to change, or whatever that may be like, so that we can get kids scheduled. There's a school process. And Mr. Tricker's here, attached for you guys to look at. As he said, some of those, in my mind, I know we're adding some big courses, one of the biggest things he and I have discussed before is we've had local requirements for kids to graduate. CTE has changed the funding on some of those courses. We're not even funded anymore. We have other courses that are funded. The diploma's changing. It's kind of like just basically dismantle that local requirement piece for our diploma here. So we can align it. What we're doing and what the state says we need to do.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the high school course selection guide.
I'll second.
Brad, thank you. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those
Aye.
opposed, same sign. Motion passes. And next we have the approval of the summer school reimbursement claims.
So every year, we get our reimbursement money in December, and bring to you guys the reimbursement claims for kids who took summer school, or dropped out of summer school, or however. The list is there for you to attach, attach to the public, because I feel like the public needs to know, everybody paid and their kid and everything else. But it is attached to yours. The difference this year is the state has changed to basically defund kids taking summer school, Indiana online summer school classes. They're pulling back on what they're paying, putting the money mainly towards iRead. So when we get, to let you know how the process works, I get ours, take off the top for summer school for our iRead kids. Basically those third graders who had to retake iRead. So that gets paid off the top, and then the rest we divvy back out to parents to disperse back for the courses back as the courses their kids have divide those out. The state has said they push more money towards the IRE piece. They're gonna start not funding it all. Some online classes. I'm pretty sure this coming year it's health. They're gonna totally take off the books, so they fund health. Next year is PE. And if I were to show you the courses our kids take, I'd say 60 to 70% of our kids summer classes take health and PE. Now some of that lines up perfectly because Mr. Tricker said kids have 2 PE credits. Now they only need one. And I'd rather have the kids in our building taking PE than going there and paying money to take. They only have to take one course. And they've even changed some of the stuff now, so weight training that counts as PE course. So there's been a lot of things, but just get out in front of it, try to make it known for families. The number that they're gonna get back is gonna get smaller and smaller.
Any discussion? Okay, can we get a motion? Okay, first from JD. Second from Emily. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign. Thank you. Okay, and the next is the approval of the ECA worker.
I should have gotten this in last week. State Board of Accounts wants us to have the board approve the pay rates for all ECA workers. So Mr. Nat, Mr. Von Traeger said rates. We just need to approve, so that when they audit, they have something, they go back and make sure they got that's where they're supposed to pay themselves. So.
Any discussion? No. Motion?
Yes.
First from JD.
Second.
Second from
Second.
Brad. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those
Aye.
opposed, same sign. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Motion passes. And then next we have the resolution 12.
As we've been discussing work sessions, in terms of transgender policy, working towards a policy, consultation with our legal team. They have advised us to move resolution process. So I resolution to you guys to approve, disapprove, however you want to work it, and we can move forward with bathroom and locker room uses.
Everybody's looked at it. Yep. Good with it. Yep. Can I get a motion? Can I get a motion? First from JD. Second from Brad. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay, next we have discussion items. Anybody? Discussion items? Calendar items, break of December 22nd through January 2nd. We have an executive session at 5:30 on January 13th. For the regular board meeting is at 6:30.
I put 2025.
You
You
did.
did.
Already done that.
One.
It's done.
Not January yet.
It's already in the books.
You did good on the other two. And our regular board meeting is at 6:30. Anything else? Okay. Get a motion for adjournment?
Move to adjourn.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.